Watch and burn.
Hey everyone, so tonight I am going to be discussing the Prodigy's second record, and that is the landmark release known as Music for the Jilted Generation. And I think, actually, this album does a really good job of setting things off as far as the Prodigy constantly changing their sound and their style from record to record. Like, if you take the Experience to Jilted Generation, they don't sound pretty much anything alike. And just like if you compare the Jilted Generation to the Fat of the Land, they don't sound anything alike. And then from the Fat of the Land up until Always Outnumbered, they don't sound anything alike. And I really like that about the Prodigy. At this point, it was really exciting. This was officially the first Prodigy record that I tracked down way back when. I was obsessed with the movie Hackers when I was a kid, and for anybody who's seen that movie knows that they used Voodoo People, and that was my favorite song off the soundtrack from Hackers. And so naturally, I tracked down the record that song was contained on, and it was Music for the Jilted Generation by some band called The Prodigy. I bought the record at Music World, and it was like $35, and I haven't regretted it since. I've listened to this record countless times. I mean, with tracks like Poison, there are Laws on here, One Love is on here. That also made an appearance on the Hackers soundtrack, and that was my other favorite song from the movie, except at that point, I had no idea that it was The Prodigy because I was really young and I hadn't figured out to watch the credits for movies yet in order to find out all of the music that was used throughout the course of the film. Fucking Fly or whatever it is. And so my two favorite songs happen to be on the one record by the same band. Like I said, some band called The Prodigy. So I bought this bad boy and I have been in love with it ever since. I think too, one of my favorite things about Voodoo People is how Howlett sampled Nirvana's Very Ape off In Utero. And of course at the time I had no idea about that. It took a few years, and one of my more clever friends was able to figure that one out. And he hypothesized that it was Nirvana. That of course made no sense to me, so I argued endlessly with him about that, but as it turns out it was true. Howlett sampled the opening guitar from Very Ape, and yes, I had to I completely fucked up. I shouldn't have argued so much on that one. But yeah, I think my favorite thing about this record is how, despite how The Fat of the Land does sound kind of dated, this record doesn't sound dated. The music on here seems to have more of like a timeless quality to it. Like, no matter how many times I hear Poison or Their Law or Voodoo People, Full Throttle, what else is on here that I absolutely love? One Love. Oh, The Heat, that's right. And Speedway, the theme from Fastlane. Whenever I listen to any of these songs, I just, like I said, I kind of get like this vibe that these songs are going to be sort of universal. They're going to age incredibly well. And here it is now, the record is roughly 30 years old, and they have done just that. This record sounds just as important and just as vital here in 2022 as it did back when it was released. And I can't say that about The Fat of the Land. I do feel that record does sound somewhat dated. I mean, other than the obvious standout tracks like Smack My Bitch Up and Breathe and Firestarter, the rest of the record does sound very mid to late 90s, whereas this record doesn't sound like the early to mid 90s at all. I mean, in the same sense, I guess the Experience sounds sort of dated as well, but oh man, the songs on Experience are just so fucking catchy. I don't care. That record is never going to be dated to me. But I just can't seem to, I don't love Fat of the Land as much as I used to, but we're not talking about that, and I keep going off topic because as cool as it is being up at the high school this late, it is kind of off-putting because my back is to like the main walking entrance, and I keep hearing shit because a lot of people bring their dogs down here, and so now I'm hearing something coming from over there, and I can't see anything because I have the light in my face. So I try to come to these places to do these things in complete and utter isolation so that I don't have any distractions. But now somebody parked their car and they're walking into the school. So yeah, so look, I think I'm going to leave it there. I absolutely love Music for the Jilted Generation. I feel that this record has aged so incredibly well. Like I said earlier, it has sort of a timeless quality. The tracks, no matter how many times I hear them and how many decades pass, they just don't sound tired. They sound as important and as integral to the history of the Prodigy and the history of music overall that I think this record has really solidified its place in the history of popular music, because the songwriting and the arranging is just so catchy and it's so tight. So yeah, so if you liked this review or discussion or whatever the fuck this was, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. You guys are amazing, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button, because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.